The essential question for this lesson is, how do the elements of a story interact? By the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify all 5 elements of a story, and your standard is Common Core 137C. Analyze how particular elements of a story or drama interact and how setting shapes the characters and the plot. This is Lesson 1, Elements of a Story. So as you saw in the video prior to this, there are 5 elements of a story: setting, character, conflict, plot, and theme. We're going to work through each of these so that you guys can show mastery and then identify these in actual short stories we're going to be reading throughout the quarter. First off, it's very important that you guys take notes. What I would do is set up a grid like this one. Have the story elements on the left side: plot, characters, conflict, theme, and setting. You should know what the definitions of each of these is by the end of these lessons, and an example perhaps of one that you can think of, whether from your own life, from a television show, from a movie, from a book. The first short story element is setting. The setting is where and when the story takes place, or in other words, the place and time of a story. Does it occur in the past, present, or future? Does it take place in a castle or in a school? Second, what are characters? The characters are the people, animals, or other creatures in the story. There are often 2 types of characters in a story: the hero and the villain. The hero is often the main good character in the story, and he's sometimes called the protagonist. Remember, the word pro is good, so remember the prefix pro. The hero, or protagonist, is the character you are all hoping will succeed to defeat the villain and be happy. The villain is also the bad character in the story, also known as the antagonist. Think of the prefix anti, or ant is against something. So the villain, or antagonist, is the character trying to prevent the hero from succeeding or being happy. Think right now of a short story that you've read recently, or one that you've seen on TV where you have a protagonist fighting the antagonist. Hint, hint, there are a lot of superhero movies coming about now where this would be an example of. Next, conflict. Another element in a story which you guys started is conflict, or the problem faced by the characters. Conflict happens when characters are against each other, like teams in a game or 2 groups fighting on the playground. The conflict is the most important thing in a story. Without it, we would not have a story. So therefore, the better the conflict, usually the better the writing. Plot. Every story is made up of a sequence or series of events. The way the events are ordered is to create a story called the plot. The plot has 5 parts. You have the exposition, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. Finally, we have theme. What makes a story linger in our hearts and minds long after we've read it? Often it's the idea on which the story is built, or its theme. Theme is a part of the author's purpose or reason for writing. The theme of a story is the message about life that the author wants us to learn. Usually a story's theme is not directly stated. The reader has to use actions, words, and thoughts of the characters to make an inference and figure out the theme. Some examples of themes are hard work pays off, or being greedy causes problems. In most stories, the theme is not stated directly. It is left to the reader to gain through the characters' actions and experiences.